All right, he's a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's one of my favorites. I've known him damn near 20 years now. And his new Bus Stops Here Foundation is launching the second session of Check-In, a virtual youth program designed for middle school age students who, as we all know, there's a lot of remote learning going on in this country right now because of the pandemic. Our buddy Jerome Bettis stops by on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, JB?
Hey, Rich. How you doing, sir?
Better for talking to you. How's your family? Everybody good?
Everybody's doing well. We're all safe and just keeping our heads on the ground.
Okay. You're just catching up on your Rich Eisen shows during the pandemic? Is that what you're doing? On your DVR?
You got to.
Oh, my gosh. Could you imagine playing in this right
you know
now,
what?
Jerome?
This would be very scary. I'm asthmatic, so this would be a very difficult decision for me to have to decide to play or not. So this would be a scary one. But the football side of me, I think, would want to win out because you want to play, and that's what you love to do. But your health is paramount.
Of course.
So it's scary.
Well, it's not just that too. It's what you might be bringing back into the house to your kids, your spouse, to anybody in your family that's of a certain age. And I do not begrudge a single opt-out. Not a single opt-out.
No, not one. Because we don't know their scenario and their situation. Everyone's unique, and their situation is unique. And we can't assume, you just don't want to play. You all want to play, but it's not necessarily worth the risk. You've got to weigh it all.
Yeah, I know. And obviously for college, we don't know kids and how it might affect anybody despite being 18 or 21 or 22. And it just... I just don't know how college is doing it. I know your alma mater's gone online for the first 2 weeks. They made that announcement, but it does appear that Notre Dame football might still go, though. Jerome,
that's the scary part about the big business and football and college football. You saw what the Big Ten do. You saw what the Pac-12 did, and then it created a pretty much a rift. Now, these schools that are predominantly in the southern states are saying, "Hey, we're going to continue on," and now it creates a really uneven playing field because now you got high school recruits looking at this decision saying, well, maybe I need to rethink that and look at a school here so possibly I could play next year if this happens again. So this is a big problem that they've got to try to fix. Not only to mention that the health scenario for these kids that they're going to be out on the field is still very dangerous.
Jerome Bettis, Pro Football Hall of Famer here on the Rich Eisen Show. I don't know if we've had a chance to talk since Cowher got in.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, what is your bust going to say to his when the lights go out?
My bus would say, Coach, you should have got me the ball just a little bit more.
Okay.
You should have got it to me a little bit more, man.
Well, I mean, why do you think he's Hall of Fame worthy, JB? I mean, he got in along with Jimmy Johnson, and we spoke to Tom Flores yesterday, and I think he's been waiting a long time. I'm wondering if you could pound the table for anybody that might think that other coaches are worthier than Bill Cowher for enshrinement.
Well, here's what you have to look at, and I think a lot of times people look at. Hey, he's got one Super Bowl, he's got two Super Bowls, and I get it. I understand that. And Tom Flores, I think he should have been in a long time ago. But when I look at Bill Cowher, you look at the consistency of what his career was. Him coming in, only having been the head coach for one team, and the career that he put together, the consistency, the playoffs. I mean, I don't remember that many. I think we maybe had one losing season, maybe two, his whole tenure. And that's rare to say that. So he was a model of consistency. You knew the Pittsburgh Steelers when you played them, what you were going to get. It was going to be physical, hard-nosed, and we won the majority of the games that we played. So if you look at his track record compared to other people, it's going to line right up with all those things. Yes, he wasn't able to win the championship, the Super Bowl the first one he went to, and he lost in a couple of AFC championship games. But key is you put yourself in that position time after time, and so that just shows you how consistent he was as a head coach. I think he maybe 5 or 6 AFC Championship games, and so to be that consistent for that period of time with totally different rosters, you got to tip your hat to him.
Jerome Bettis here on the Rich Eisen Show. What are we going to get out of Big Ben this year, do you think?
You know, that's a great question. Hopefully we get 75, 80% of what the player that he has been, because you always know that he's in the back of his head. He's gonna have a little nervousness about letting it go full 100%, right? Because whenever you have that type of injury, that's always in the back of your head. But I believe he has the ability. If he's 80% of himself, this is going to be an out-of-sight team, because you already have a championship-caliber defense that they proved that last year, because the defense was the only thing that kept the team 8-8 just incredibly. But now you add the receivers that are in place that have really come out and played well last year. Then you bring the running game with still a solid offensive line, a little bit older, but still really good offensive line. I think you've got a playoff caliber team if Ben is 75% of himself. If you get Ben back to close to 100% of himself, I think you've got a championship caliber football team. So I think right now the onus is how well is Ben going to be for the entire season. And I think that'll determine how good this team can really be.
Well, I got to tell you, man, if he is 75% and the more focused, team-oriented Ben Roethlisberger, where he's not on the radio, and he's more focused, if you will, on his teammates in a proper way. I'll be very honest here, and that happens. Then I think you got a top 5 defense in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? You got T.J. Watt,
championship caliber defense, no doubt about it.
I agree. I mean, T.J. Watt could be a defensive player of the year candidate, just like his bro, Bud Dupree, and on the back end you got Minkah Fitzpatrick, and we all know the brains of the operation right there in the middle, from an outstanding institution of higher learning, the University of Michigan, in Devin Bush.
Oh, the puppy. He's a youngster. He's a youngster.
Oh, he's that youngster. I think he's all grown up, personally. I think that's, you got yourself a serious defense in Pittsburgh. You give that defense, and that defense turns people over and gets people off the field because they sack people. And you give that defense 3 touchdowns. Offensively, you give them 2 touchdowns, a couple field goals, you might have a championship caliber team.
That's what I'm saying. They can play against anybody in the league and have success. And if they can get the running game going, and Ben can be timely, I think another addition was Eric Ebron in the middle of the field, an area where historically the Steelers have never been very, very strong at. In terms of the tight end putting pressure vertically, and I think if Ebron can bring any of that, it brings a different dimension that this team has honestly never had, and that can be scary.
Jerome Bettis here on the Rich Eisen Show. A few more minutes left with you, sir. Tell me about this virtual youth program designed for middle school age students. Obviously, we're in a pandemic. Many schools doing online learning again. Walk me through what this is and how people can get involved, JB.
Okay, well, let me just tell you how it started. It was crazy. I got a call from someone in the Steelers organization, and there was a young lady who was a teacher at training camp whose kids, when everything went to virtual learning, didn't have computers. And so we said, that can't happen. We've got to do something. So one day we raised about $35,000 for 60 kids to get computers. And at that point we realized, wait a second, there's a problem here. There's kids who aren't connected. They don't have the connectivity.
Right.
And so we came up with this program called Connecting Kids, and we went out and try to get with the community, and we've raised money, and we were able to purchase over 1,000 laptops for kids in southwestern Pennsylvania. And that was amazing. So that's been incredible for everyone. And if anybody wants to help in that regard, because now we're starting to go to Detroit, and then we want to go all over the country eventually. And people can just go to the busstopsherefoundation.org or donate to the text to bus at 71777, and that's for the connecting kids part. But then we said, hey, we need to provide something because now kids are out of school and they miss some of this learning. And so we came up with this check-in program. And basically, we're launching our second check-in program. And it's a second 6-week virtual enrichment session, and it's totally free. It's for kids from age 10 to 14. All they have to do is go to eventbrite.com to register. It's totally free. You've got tech innovation classes, science, video and film, math, zoology, entrepreneurship, cybersecurity, marine biology, so many other things. We've got DJ on there going, and so it's just something that we saw was an issue. Now this is for after school for kids at starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, and so we just wanted to do something to help during this pandemic, and we saw that there was a small problem in terms of the technology not being affordable and the internet access, it wasn't accessible, and that digital divide was there. And so we wanted to try to do something to step in and try to help with at-risk and underprivileged kids who didn't have that don't have the same opportunities that others do.
And from 4 to 5:45 p.m. Speaking as a parent of 3 small kids or 3 young kids, an hour and 45 minutes of time having spending it and filling their brains with something that actually expands the mind rather than deadens it is a great idea, and it's very welcome, and it's on Mondays and Wednesdays, eventbrite.com. Go and search for your name, Jerome Bettis, and also the busstopsherefoundation.org is another way to find out all this stuff. Hey, man, look, before I let you go, I'm really hoping that Notre Dame plays football this year. You know why?
Why?
Well, I'm hoping they play football this year. And
Be careful, Jerome. You're walking into it.
I'm waiting for it.
You're walking into it, bud.
Look, Jerome Bettis, I don't know his birthday, but off the top of my head, but I'm assuming it definitely isn't August 17th, 2020. He wasn't born yesterday. Or 2 days
February
ago.
16th.
Okay, whatever. He knows when he calls into the show what's
coming.
happening.
I do.
Please, this is not his first rodeo. We go way back. So the reason why is you do recall last year when our alma maters faced off with one another, correct? You do remember that?
I do recall.
Okay. Do you recall that when our alma maters faced off with one another, you and I made what we would call a friendly wager.
Absolutely.
Okay, right. I don't recall what I put on the line. Whatever it was something that I was supremely confident wouldn't actually happen.
Right. And as it turns out, it didn't. Okay.
So now you do remember what you have to do, though, because your school lost.
But if you recall, I came on your show and I sang your fight song as a response to that. You forget how quickly we forget.
He did that. Did we let him off the hook?
Yes. You see, I forget
this is ringing a bell.
You're starting to get up there in age, and I understand. I do understand.
You also went to Michigan, Jerome.
But you got to understand now, I stood up, and I stood up.
And you sang the fight
song.
He did.
That's right.
I sang a Michigan fight song, if you will, okay?
The greatest fight song.
A Michigan fight song, and something that I told myself I would never do, and I did it for you as payment.
Instead of having to wear the hat,
loss.
instead of wearing the hat,
because I thought we had the hat there. We didn't have the hat there. And because we had it made up, and my business manager forgot it.
Oh yeah, you blamed your people.
We have it. I can send you a picture of it.
I would love to get a picture of it.
Okay, I will get you a picture of it. I won't be in the picture, of course.
Because just in case anybody knows or doesn't know, the
I want you to know that.
the
I
hat
won't
said
be in the picture. Against
the
second time,
right.
no chance. So I did step up to the plate,
Right.
and try to honor.
And the hat said what, Jerome? What are the words that are on the
I
hat?
don't remember. I have to look at it again. I don't
It's
remember
supposed
what
to
the
say.
hat
It's
said.
supposed to
I
say.
can't remember.
I should have gone to Michigan.
You're not going to punish me a second time, but that's what you're trying to do.
Well, you know what? Yeah, it's no double jeopardy. That's what he's saying.
You're trying to punish me. What did it say? I would never tell you what it said.
we were trying to get you to say it so we
You are
could
very
keep playing.
clever. I will say that. Very, very, but forgetful. And I did it on national television.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand why you never did go to Michigan. I mean, you're right there. You're right there. You're clearly.
It was a better opportunity for me at Notre Dame.
Now, so hold on a second, just to recharge this battery. It's because was it Bo? Was it Bo or was it Gary Moeller? Who's one?
So Bo Schembechler, let me just tell you for the record, put it on the record, what happened.
Okay.
So.
Uh-oh.
Did he hang up instead of telling the story?
I believe.
No. Say that again. Your phone.
Eve,
Yeah.
he went to see a running back named Ricky Powers,
Right. I remember.
who
him.
was the number one running back in the country
Yes.
in Ohio. And
That's right.
that sent shockwaves. I was a fullback. I was the number one fullback in the country. But it told me where the importance was, because the tailback at Michigan is more important than the fullback position. And they were selling me on the fact that, hey, we'll play you like Leroy Horde, fullback, tailback.
Yeah.
But I knew once they signed the number one tailback in the country, I knew that my opportunities would be limited in terms of running the football. Whereas in Notre Dame, Lou Holtz's offense was based around the fullback. The fullback ran the football. All the screen passes went to the fullback. And when they went to three wide receivers, the fullback stayed in the game, and he ran the ball out of a one-back set. So it was a perfect scenario for me to go to Notre Dame, because they actually utilized the fullback much more than they did at Michigan. But and Michigan wanted me to play linebacker. Okay, that was the first reason.
You know what I
They
hear,
wanted me to
Jerome?
play fullback.
You know what I hear, Jerome? Instead of a tale of woe, you know what I hear? I hear that there's a me in Jerome and an I in Bettis. That's what I hear. You can't spell Bettis without an I, and you can't spell Jerome without me. That's what I hear.
No.
That's what I hear. What about
that was
me?
Not the case.
I.
They wanted me to
all
play
that.
linebacker. I was only 5'10". I knew I was only going to be 5. I ended up being, just a shade under 6 foot. I knew I was going to be undersized at linebacker, and I was right. It paid off for me. So I made the right call. Had I went to Michigan, it would not have been the success, I believe, that would have come to me at Notre Dame.
Well, at least you still have great Michigan ties and Detroit roots to get the Ford Motor Company Fund involved in the Jerome Bettis Bus Stops Here Foundation
That's right.
launch of the second session of Check-In. Everyone go again to Eventbrite, which is eventbrite.com, and search for Jerome Bettis, which again is spelled with an I in Bettis and an M-E at the end of Jerome.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
You're the best, JB.
Love
Love you, man.
Rich. I appreciate it. And please remember next time I do things like this to embarrass myself, you could at least remember them. I appreciate that.
Jerome Bettis, dropping the mic out the door. There's Jerome Bettis. Very good.
Take care.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.